Holy smokes! Thank you, Pauper community. I truly mean that. If you haven't checked it out already, here's the card above. Go click that. That is the SquirrelStorm video I uploaded last week. As I record this, we're currently at 12,500. It's by far the most viewed video here on this channel, so thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. The Combo Cabal greatly appreciates it, and I'm here to show my appreciation for you, and that is recording an updated SquirrelStorm video. So far, every video I've uploaded this week, someone has said, please upload more SquirrelStorm. We want more, we want more, we want more. And I've gotten some feedback on my list as well as playing the list myself, and I'm here to discuss those changes today. One of the changes that people have said is they felt like the deck mulligans too much due to Seething Spear Guide. You just really want that card to be a land. Well, when you look at other lists that have been published from either the challenges or the weekly updates, they're all playing 12 tap lands. So they're all playing, 4 Geothermal Crevice, 4 Peat Bog, 4 Sandstone Needle. It's not that I didn't consider those lands. I don't think that mana base is correct. So the first thing is you really want basics, and that's for environmental sciences. So this is a lesson card that you can get off of first day of class, which we'll get to first day of class a little bit later. But this is a lesson card that you can get in game 1, and then you go get a land card from your deck. So it's +1 storm for 1 mana and a color fixes. So you don't actually have to worry about green mana anymore. And I was really worried about this force until I started playing games. When I was actually playing games, between Manamorphose, Petal, Stars, the colorless mana in the deck, I actually never found the force to be an issue. But there were multiple times where I really wanted to get it with environmental sciences and it wasn't in the deck. So now we're playing a forest. I do agree with Geothermal Crevice. The ability to sacrifice for Cabal Ritual means everything to me. And that's something that I don't like about Peat Bog and Sandstone Needle. Those lands not doing that really, really irritates me because I want to be fast. And having Cabal Ritual be slightly better faster is what I'm looking to do. Same thing, that's why I'm running Sulfur Vent. While it technically color fixes, blue mana no longer matters. I cut the curve from the deck. Curve was fine, but it was never as good as I wanted it to be, so I'm just not playing it anymore. And then 3 copies of Swamp. So we could run a mana base that doesn't have 4 basics. But hear me out. So the reason we're running 4 basics is that we're running 4 Duress in the board. And I wasn't boarding in Duress in that first video because on the draw, or even on the play, it's not reliable because you have to play a tap land, untap, and then Duress. You don't want to do that. You want to play Duress on turn 1. So having more untapped black sources will help Duress. And that means that it's a meaningful sideboard card in the mirror, which is a big thing right now. Expect the mirror. I'm expecting to play the mirror in this very league. So that's why I'm running 3 Swamp and then Duress. You can choose to run 4 Vent and Peat Bog and all that stuff, but you're slowing yourself down. I don't want to be slow. I want to go fast. Let's Ricky Bobby this. We're looking to go fast. So part of that is I'm still running Street Wraith. Some of you prefer Sign and Blood in that slot. I'm not going to do that. Like I said, I'm looking to make Cabal Ritual fast, especially when SquirrelStorm Mirror is so prevalent. There was a list that top-8'd the challenge this past weekend. It was running Galvanic Relay in the main deck. The problem with that is if your Relay is your action spell, you're in trouble because you have to pass the turn in the mirror, and that means you're going to get slaughtered. And I'm not looking to do that. I think Relay is a great card, but it should be in the sideboard. There's also some friction with Galvanic Relay. So you do have to pass the turn, but it also doesn't work with Shred Memory or Street Wraith or Seething Spear Guide. That's part of the reason I switched to this mana base with 11 lands was Galvanic Relay. The fact that it doesn't work with Guide kind of stinks. That said, we probably wanted to be slightly more consistent now that other decks are trying to beat us. So 11 lands isn't the end of the world. Doesn't work with Street Wraith, doesn't work with Shred Memory. So my plan there is against blue decks, I have 9 cards to board out. I have 2 Shred Memory, 4 Street Wraith, 3 copies of Faithless Looting. And then I board in Duress, Pyroblast, and Galvanic Relay. I'm swapping 9 for 9, and it works out fairly well. That was planned. That wasn't an accident. So as we go through the list, Lotus Petal, pretty stock. Chromatic Star, everyone's running that. I'm not running Sphere. I did play a list with Sphere earlier this week, and I liked it. But in my opinion, it fights the Shred Memory slot or Street Wraith, and I'm just looking to be fast. I don't love Shred Memory. But when I was testing, there were games where I would get down to 25 cards in deck and never found a Chatterstorm, and it's a little bit irritating. Um, I really don't like the fact that Shred Memory doesn't increase storm count and it's a little bit clunky. That's why I'm only running two. But the ability to guarantee Chatterstorm or first day of class is pretty nice. Um, yeah. I mean, it's at the cost of a flashback looting essentially, and I think that's a cost that we can afford to do sometimes. So I am running 2 copies of Shred. Looting, I cut one. I felt like in that first video that 4 was slightly too many, and now we're down to 3. It's what made room for one of these shreds. All of our mana, obviously broken rituals. We've gone over that in the first video. So if you need a little bit more of that, go check out that video once again. Knight's Whisper, like I said, no Sign in Blood to go with the Whisper. I'm running Street Wraith instead for speed. And then, more rituals. And then the core of the deck. First day of class plus Chatterstorm. Chatterstorm is our mini Empty the Warrens. Brian Koval just published a video, called it Nutshot, based on Grape Shot, punny title. And then First Day of Class. First Day of Class, for those of you that are unaware of this deck, it's the glue. This card, it does everything. So the first thing, unlike Goblin Bushwhacker, you get to play it pre-Chatterstorm to increase your storm count. Okay? That's the first thing it does. So the second thing it does is it gives toughness, unlike Bushwhacker, which means that Electrickery doesn't wreck your day. First day of class then gives all your creatures haste, which is just bananas, very similar to Bushwhacker. From there, it has the ability Learn. Learn gets a lesson card from your sideboard, so either Introduction to Prophecy, aka Costly Preordain, or B, Environmental Sciences, slightly better, like, what would that card be? Lay of the Land? I guess it's not better than Lay of the Land, but, gets a basic out of your deck. I'm not going to think of a card name off the top of my head. But you can also Rummage, so you can discard a land and then draw a card. First Day of Class really does everything, and I think it's secretly one of the best cards in the deck. It's part of the reason the Mogwarts decks work. First Day of Class is just bonkers. These are definitely just like cards that are probably too strong for Pauper, but I'm going to play with them while I can. We talked about Duress. That's really for the combo mirror and control decks. Untapped black sources are just beautiful. Gut Shot. This is for Affinity, primarily at least. So Affinity is playing Clark Clan, Shaman? Clark Clan Shaman? I believe that's what it's called. It's a 1 red, 1/1 creature, sacrifice an artifact, deal 1 to each creature. So they can stack that ability and then deal essentially X, where X is the amount of artifacts you control, to all creatures. It's pretty good against Chatterstorm. So to combat that, we're playing Gut Shot. You can also run Electrickery to be able to answer multiple shamans all at once. I don't know if I love it, but some people do. I'd rather have the free spell and Gut Shot, not take mana off on my combo turn. It's already worse enough for taking a card away. I don't really want to spend mana. Pyroblast, in my opinion, it's worse than Duress. Duress is better in more matchups. We're not just looking to beat blue. We're looking to beat tons of decks with tons of different ways of interacting with us, and Duress does it better. We also have more black sources in the deck than red. Flaring Pain, I started on 1, I went up to 2, and now I'm back down to 1. This is a card I expected to use more, and it just hasn't come up as much as I'd like. It does beat Prismatic Strands and Moment's Peace, but I thought I would need it more often than I did. Part of the reason I've gone back down to 1 is you can get it with Shred Memory if you need to. That said, I still haven't actually cast it. It's one of those cards that's likely better in theory than practice, but I think it's almost free to play 1 in your board. Galvanic Relay. Wow! This is a card I don't see being banned from Pauper, but it's a card I'm looking forward to playing for years to come. This card is a terrific Storm Engine. It's just beautiful. And against blue decks, it allows you to bully them, which we haven't really had before with Storm. Very similar to Reaping the Graves in some ways against control decks, but in my opinion, even more powerful. You allow them to build up your Storm count with their counter spells, and then you essentially get a one-sided Wheel of Fortune. It's just great. But then it does come at that cost of having to pass the turn. That's why I don't think it's a main deck card. It's more of a sideboard card in my opinion. You can also board it against like Jund style strategies if they're gonna like discard your hand and do a bunch of that stuff. Set up a turn where you can play 4 or 5 cards with Chromatic Stars and other stuff, flashback lootings, and then relay. That's what I have to say about the deck. very long-winded. Sorry that I probably didn't say some card names right, but you know, up here doing my spiel, trying to remember everything I wanted to say. If you want to support this video, make sure to subscribe. It's the best way of doing that. And if you're already subscribed, like and comment. Support us. I would greatly appreciate it. Trying to do these daily vids, keeping the energy high. All right. So if you want to support us monetarily, you can always go to theepicstorm.com/shop. Submit your donation decks. We haven't had any in a while. It'd be cool to get some new decks here on the channel. Give me some fresh ideas. It's a great way of doing that while showcasing your combo strategy. You can also just go directly to theepicstorm.com/shop, pick up a mini token pack. They're the fan favorite. We're going through them fast. Get it while we still have it. That's my intro. That's what I've got. I'll see you in round number 1. Don't go anywhere. Welcome to round number 1. We're facing Jaspera, and we're on the draw. I have no clue what they're playing, but this hand seems pretty great. We have First Day of Class, which is half the combo, and then we have Shred Memory for Chatterstorm. We have 3 cards that immediately go to the graveyard for Cabal Ritual. Let's not forget about that. But we do have to, draw a little bit more mana because Shred is a little bit costly, and we don't have Threshold. So we have our 2 lands that will likely be playing the first 2 turns, but we still need some more cards for Threshold. So this is a hand where like a Faithless Looting might actually be pretty good. We would also take a Night's Whisper. We'll see where it goes. All right, so we're going to keep this. Opponent looks like they mulliganed. Jaspera, what are you playing? Opponent's thinking pretty hard on this mulligan by the looks of it. Okay, let's start it off. Forest, maybe elves or walls? It is elves. Okay. Draw. Rite of Flame. That's actually a pretty good pickup. We're going to play the Geothermal Crevice here, and part of the, obviously you want to play it first, but it's a land on turn 2 that you can sacrifice. So if we decide that turn 2 is the go turn, it is a land that goes to the graveyard. So we're going to pass now back to the elf player. All right, so I don't know if elves has any game 1 meaningful interaction. That said, postboard does get a little bit more difficult. I've seen Dispel, I've seen Echoing Truth. Echoing Truth is certainly a card we don't want to see. Yeah, so I don't really like Relay in this matchup. Once again, I don't think that's the sort of Magic we're looking to play, but I do like the idea of Duress and even possibly even Gut Shot. Those are cards I would be interested in boarding in. All right, so Jasper has played a Forest and now Timberwatch. That's not super threatening. We're going to let that resolve, and then F6. All right, draw. Another Rite of Flame. That's pretty good. So is this the turn we want to go for it? I think it might be. So we can go sacrifice this, play Petal. That's 5. We can Shred Memory immediately. So that would be 6. We could First Day of Class. I don't think we can actually... I guess me might be able to. Alright. It's tough. So Storm 1 Petal, Storm 2 Petal. We have to at least cast one of these rights, so we can do that for free. And now we can sacrifice Crevice. If I tap this and then cast Shred Memory, I can leave 1 red floating. That would put 4 cards to the graveyard. I don't know. Maybe I should just accept that Cabal Ritual isn't doing a lot. Maybe that's honestly just like the better play here. I could rummage, but I don't really want to discard any of the cards in my hand. Yeah, I think I'm just going to cast the Cabal Rit. Alright, let's First Day of Class. So we have 7 total mana. With 7 mana, I can cast Environmental Sciences, Shred Memory, Chatter. With Introduction to Prophecy, I would actually have to hit a mana off of the Prophecy in order to do anything. So I think I'm just supposed to get the Prophecy here. Now we're going to transmute. And we'll get Chatterstorm, cast Sciences, get the Forest. We can't play it because we've already played our land. So now we get 8 2/2s, and this should be good enough to beat elves. Hiya! Alright, so our opponent's probably not going to block. They'll go to 4. And I just don't see how they could possibly come back here. It's really difficult for this deck to play 8 blockers on turn 3. So we've taken game number 1. Alright, so I mentioned how we definitely want the Duress, so those are going to come in right now. And then maybe the Gut Shot, so we'll board in Gut Shot as well. Let's drag those over here. Well, we have 7 cards that are coming in. What do we want to take out? That's the hard part. So in my mind, Shred Memory is a card we can look at. It was pretty good in that game 1, and it does allow consistency. Same thing with Faceless Looting. That's a card that could come out, but gives us some consistency. I do know that some players, I mean, I've never done it, but they board out Seething Song. Maybe that's something I'll try this video. I haven't done it personally, but it's an option. We can board out Street Wraith. I don't think that those are necessary, and especially if we're looking to slow down a tad, it makes a little bit of sense. I think I'm probably okay with boarding on 1 song here. What else, though? We could probably board out land 10. We're on the draw. Or do we just want to be consistent? Maybe going after them isn't right. Let's not board in the Gut Shot. Let's keep the Seething Song and try this. We definitely need the Duress, though. I just don't know if we need Gut Shot. If they're not going to have anything like the Clark Clan Shaman, why bother? Okay. Wow, what a hand. I will keep this for sure. Alright, so I'm going to keep and then hit F6, or I guess I won't F6, but here we're looking, this is probably a turn 3 hand if I had to guess, but it's a good one. We have 2 solid lands here. Yeah, like, I can't complain about this at all. And now we have an untapped land for turn 3 or turn 2 if we want it. It's almost always better to play Crevice on turn 1 because it sacks for 2 combo color mana instead of the Sulfur Vent. Vents really are back up. Our opponent's now playing Ranger. They're going to tap Elf, bounce their land, replay Elf, and now they'll have 3 mana to play more threats. Part of me wonders if we should just Whisper on turn 2 and not worry about this Vent. I don't really care about Well-Wisher. That's fine. Another land. Okay. I think I am going to Whisper. That's going to bring us up to 8. We can discard one of these lands, which actually helps us with Threshold. So that was not an accident. I definitely planned that. We can get rid of the Vent here. Okay, so now it's the opponent's turn. And we are seeing Birchlar Rangers. This does give them access to blue mana. So let's not forget about that. Alright, so they're going to gain a bunch of life with Well-Wisher, untap it with Quirion Ranger. Okay, so sure. And if they're not doing anything else, to me that means that they have interaction. Just keep that in the back of your head. And now they're leaving up just enough. And this seems like it's an accident, but it might not be. Alright, so they have 2 cards in hand. They could also be lands, hypothetically, but I doubt it. Instead, I think I'm just going to play my Crevice and pass. If they're not going to do anything, why bother? We can, you know, take a draw step, see if we can find a Duress. Another Well-Wisher, sure. While this may seem scary, we can beat them gaining life. Like, when the Squirrels come down, it's going to be scary. Alright. So, what are they doing here? Ooh, that's a good one. Nice. Distant Melody. Still representing the Dispel here from the opponent. And they can play it on, by leaving Well-Wisher untapped, they still have it because they can return a forest on our turn to surprise, untap, and Dispel. Alright, so they're going to have to discard a card here. Whisper. Okay. Honestly, I don't know if it's going to get better than right now. So we can add 2. It's going to bring us up to 4. Maybe I should just, like, Whisper again. I don't know. 13, they're probably not going to kill us. Let's see what it is. Okay, so we actually don't have a... I guess we have 3 draws. Data Duress. So this would bring us up to 5. I'm just worried about a Dispel on Cabal Ritual. That actually slows us down quite a bit. So that would give us 6. I would have to cycle a Chrome Star before casting the first Cabal Ritual. You know what? This seems like a window to me. I'm just going to go. Alright, so Lotus Petal. Sacrifice this. Sacrifice this. We can add red mana here. Actually, let's just play Star. Alright, we'll use a green. And filter for a green, I guess. We'll hit our trigger on that. Rite of Flame is a good one. Let's cast Rite. Okay, so Rite of Flame's on the stack. The only card I'm worried about right now from the opponent is Dispel. They're pausing here on the right. It resolved. So now let's cast Cabal Rit. This would be a juicy Dispel target if they had one. Alright, so that resolves. Too bad there's not like a lessen discard spell. Let's Chrome Star. Still looking for that Duress. Looting. Okay, it's not a bad one. Manamorphose. This could be a juicy target, but it resolves. Love to see that. I think I'm actually going to add red. Okay, good draw. Love Manamorphose. This one, I think I'm going to add red-green, maybe? Do I actually need red-green? I should probably just do red-red. Like, we're not going to double Chatterstorm. Whisper, okay. I like that. So that can get us another Chatterstorm. It cannot get us a protection spell, interestingly enough. But we could get another Chatter. I just don't know how good that actually is. Or we could use to get another first day of class. That's actually pretty cool if we can make the mana work on that. Which I think we should be able to do. So let's try casting this and see if it gets countered. Alright, so this is a card that our opponent should counter if they have a Dispel. And here we're going to see it. Alright, so they're going to return their forest, untap with Korean Ranger, Dispel. Saw it coming, played around her the whole time, and now you're dead. You're dead. I don't know what you were thinking. You're dead. They're at 39. I don't know if we're actually going to have enough storm count for this. But let's cast some spells. I will get Environmental Sciences, I guess. And now we can Faithless Looting, and that's going to leave us with exactly enough mana for Chatterstorm. I hit the Duress, but unfortunately we can't cast it. So we're making 16, which is 32. It's not lethal. I guess if they have an Echoing Truth in hand, we're just done. Unfortunately, but it is what it is. So they do have double... what is this thing called? Well-Wisher. So they could stabilize, hypothetically. They are going to 6. They're going to untap and have the ability to gain like 20-something. So it's not impossible is what I'm trying to say here. Alright, so they have the Forest. If they have Echoing Truth, we're just done. The Well-Wisher's got them just up high enough. And we were 1 mana short of Duress. Alright, Elves opponent. Do you have it? Are you slow rolling me? What is it? Come on. I mean, they could also have another Distant Melody. That would be bad for us here. I just don't know. They're taking a long time, which is making me a little bit nervous. So they've added a green mana, another Birch Lore. It's a chump blocker. As long as I don't see blue, I'm okay. We can beat green mana. Alright. Another green, I like that. Another Priest. So, if they don't have blue mana, this is nice and dandy at all. But, I guess they could go gain 10, gain 10. We still have 30-something coming in. They could untap. It's possible that they can live this turn without blocking. I guess that's like within the realm of things that could happen. They're taking a long time here, which makes me think they don't have it. Because if they had it, I don't think they'd be delaying this long. I just want to crash with Squirrels. And Shred Memory definitely gives the deck a little bit of added extra consistency. But you saw right there that the steep cost of 3 mana while not making Storm, it could cost us this match. Like, it could. Yeah. So... Alright, so now they go to 17. That was plus how many? So it's plus 10. So they can go to 37. They actually don't need to block. Another... Alright, let's see what they're working with here. Duress is on the stack. Well, we're going to get rid of that. So if we swing out, are we dead? Because we're at 10. It's 5... 10. So they have 10 elves, and they don't need to block. I think they've actually got us here, because they can gain more than 10 every turn. They can gain 30 a turn, and we're only doing 30 if I swing out. Yeah, I think they're going to have us. The Well-Wishers are actually good enough here, unfortunately. So we're going to combat. Yeah, I just don't think we're going to be good enough. So they don't have to block. But we do have to leave 1. Because we're only essentially doing 2 damage a turn at the moment. That's assuming that we can't do any better. So they can gain 30. We just dealt 30. We're just in a stalemate. And they have gas with Lead the Stampede and we don't. Like, they definitely have, you know, now they're gaining 33 a turn. They have the long game and we just don't. So we're probably not going to win this. Okay. I think we might get to the point where we're just passing until we can rebuild. Yeah. The Well-Wishers are just too strong. It's one way of beating us without Echoing Truth. Alright. So... I think that should be it. They don't have anything else. They just have this. And they have a Dispel to make sure that we can't do anything else. Yeah, we lost game 2. Yeah, this just isn't good enough. Alright, game 3. Do we want to change anything with boarding? I don't think so. I really don't. Like, I could board in Gutshot for the Well-Wisher, but I think that's trying to beat the wrong aspect of the matchup. Like, we should just be looking to win before that card's relevant. Like, we could have beaten one Well-Wisher there. It was the second one that got us. And I don't want to be drawing Gutshots mid-combo. Yeah, I'm just going to resubmit this. Okay. Game 3 on the play. Not a keep. That's sort of a bummer. Added 3 lands to the deck. I guess we keep this. Bottom the Dark Rit because it requires an additional color. I don't love this by any means. Like, this is just a really... Like, I don't feel good. I guess we cast you. See what the opponent's working with. Get rid of this. At least prohibit. They have to keep up more mana. A lot of counter spells. So now they can keep up the prohibit. Yep. Why wouldn't they? We're just going to pass here. No point in doing anything. Now it's the opponent's turn. They played the Quirion Ranger, the Forest, the Birch Lore. This is probably just Lead the Stampede. No? Timberwatch? Okay. So now we know their last 2. And they're just still respecting us with the Prohibit, which is probably the right move. Yeah. Duress is obviously a good draw here. Either way, I'm taking the Prohibit. They can have the Lead the Stampede. And, yep. So they're doing that. You got it. So we still have to find a Chatterstorm. We have plenty of mana. Our opponent has the lead. I'm just a little worried that if we go for it next turn, we're going to fizzle, but I think that's just a risk we have to take. We can also mana fix a little bit with first day of class with getting environmental sciences for a black source. We have that going on. We can also use it to go get the forest if we're lucky enough to draw Chatterstorm. Alright, so our opponent's just casting green spells. I do think our next turn's probably the turn where we want to go for it. This Timberwatch Elf is also going to be a lot of damage. So now they can untap, give it 6 more, so that's 13. Okay, I wonder why they did that way. So 7, 8, 9 at the moment. They're going to deal me. That's actually lethal, I think. I'm pretty sure that's lethal. So, unless I'm misunderstanding here. So now they pump again, return the forest. This should just be lethal. Our opponent has successfully comboed us out. That's pretty sweet. Turn 4 for them. Yeah. Hard to be upset about that. They just did their thing. Would we have gotten there? All 4 first day of class. We were not likely getting that. Based on these. Like, we could rummage a little bit, but it doesn't look like we were going to get there. All 4 first day of class, no Chatterstorm. Wump wump. It is what it is. I don't feel like I made any huge misplays. Our game 3 draws just like weren't good enough based on what our opponent did, and sometimes that happens. I'll see you in match number 2. Alright, round number 2. We're on the draw against Barf. And we've opened up both halves of our combo. This hand just all around seems fantastic. We're going to keep this. Alright, Barf. This is actually a hand that I wish I still had Simian Spirit Guide in. Affinity. I've been told that this is a tough matchup. Yeah. So we're definitely going for a turn 2. This hand can do it. Let's see what our opponent's going to do. Alright. Maybe a Disciple? Echo Wellspring. Sure, you got it. Not afraid of your Wellspring. Draw. Let's effing go. Cycle. Shred's a fine draw. It's like not amazing, but it's okay. Sack this for green. Right here. Green mana fixing. Woot woot. We're going to add red green. Another first day. I guess Shred isn't doing anything because we can't actually cast it. Or, I shouldn't say cast, transmute it. I'm going to rummage this Shred, actually. Sweet. Cast the Seething Song. Another first day. We have 5 mana floating. I think I'm going to get Environmental Sciences, just because it allows me to cast an extra spell. And that's just slightly more important to me. We'll get the Swamp, I guess. Play the Looting. Discard these. And we're going to be swinging for 30 on turn 2. Pretty good. Pretty good. Alright, first day of class triggers. And our opponent concedes. That's how we do. Make up for that round number 1. Boarding. Alright, so the gut shots are specifically for this matchup to deal with the Shaman. And then they have a lot of Spell Beast interaction, so we want the Duress. I'm fine here boarding out Street Wraith. And after that, the Looting. That's my plan for the matchup. I want to keep Shreds in for consistency. You can board in Relay. That is an option you can do. My concern with boarding in Relay is that sometimes Affinity just kills you very quickly, and then you're stuck looking at this card that you passed the turn for. So it's not something I'm really looking to do, and instead I'm just trying to poke a hole and win. I feel like with the Relay plan, you're looking to play a longer game against the deck that can just, play a turn to ATOG and do their thing. Well then, this hand is Garbo. Better. Better, better, better. We'll keep this and get rid of... I think it's Rite of Flame? It's either Rite of Flame or Petal. Drawing multiple Rite of Flames would make bottoming the petal better. Alright, we're going to bottom petal. Let's see what the opponent's going to do. Yep. Okay. We drew one anyway. So we're just going to pass here. What's the opponent up to? Furnace, Shaman. Okay, so now we have to find the gut shot. We have to protect it as well. So I'm just going to sit here pretty. We don't have to go for it. The opponent's not threatening us. But in order to win this game, we will need Chatterstorm and we will need gut shot. So we have to do a little bit of planning. We also have to get the gut shot to resolve. That's something that a lot of people forget. And they've been representing Dispel or some sort of blast effect the entire time. Alright. Are they going to attack? They're thinking about it. And they've gotten in there. No surprise blockers from me. Okay. Draw. Star. I feel like going for it here is just super risky. I think it's pretty free to play that out. I don't think Storm's going to be the chokehold in this matchup, so I'd rather save the mana and just play out the Star. And one of the reasons that Shaman is so dangerous against us is that Shaman gets around the multiple first day of class plan, which makes it fairly unique, especially for its mana cost. Tinker Wellspring, that's fine. And Chromatic Star on their side is actually sort of dangerous because they can stack a card on top that matters, and they double topped, and then I can't even dress it away. So that makes it like pretty scary. All right, so they're attacking with Shaman. So like if they have like an Echoing Truth on top, for example, that would just be devastating. Yeah. Swamp. I'm just gonna pass here. We have some life to give. We could theoretically die to like Atog Fling, but I don't think we're supposed to force the issue yet. Thoughtcast? Sure. Okay. So they're going to crash for 5. Still need to draw into some action. So we need Chatterstorm and we need Gut Shot. So that's 9. We're actually dead to a Galvanic Blast, so I think that this is our turn. Let's go. Well, step 1. Now we just have to find the Gut Shot. Start off on Duress. What do you have, opponent? What do you have? Well, that's sort of dangerous. They have all 3 things. I don't know if we can beat this. Okay. Well, we have to go for it. Like, I don't have a choice. So I'm just going to start casting spells and doing what I can. Okay. Let's filter this for a red. Draw. Another star. Okay. Let's Morphose. I don't know what I'm supposed to add here. It's probably likely 1 red and then a black. One way that we could hypothetically win this is if I Chatterstorm in 2 different phases. Like 1 pre-combat, 1 post-combat. Not looking good for us at the moment. Yeah, I think that just eliminated us. The blue Elemental Blast is just going to be too good. They could even let it resolve, and then I still have to find Duress off of this. Or Gut Shot, I mean. Yeah, like our opponent just doesn't have anything to fear here. I guess another Chatterstorm. That's not true. So that's actually pretty interesting because I could keep... So, is that any different? I don't think it is, technically. Yeah, I'm supposed to bottom these. I was thinking that I could keep it, cast it, but it's the same thing because either way the next card down has to be the other Chatterstorm. And we drew another land. Yeah. Too much interaction. Alright, so we're going to game 3 now. Tough. I'm on the play. I could try the relays. We'd have to find one more card to board out. Because this does beat a bunch of counter spells. Let's try it. I'm not against trying things. I've yet to board in Relay against Affinity. Maybe it'll be good. Can't keep that. I think that this is reasonable enough. We can just bottom a star. Could also just bottom the song, I guess. That's also another option. And just play a slightly slower game. Yeah, I think I like that better. Alright, so on turn 2, we're just playing double Chromatic Star. Gives us more looks for duress and gut shot, all that good stuff. Okay. Playing star and passing here. Woot woot. I guess they could add like a Spell Pierce or something, but I don't know. I don't know why you would ever counter Chromatic Star. Yeah, and they wisely didn't tap out there. Chromatic Star. And then another Chromatic Star. After that, we're going to pass the turn. Alright, opponent's stalling on our end step. Will they do anything, or are they just taking forever? Alright, so we're in their main phase now. Always leaving up that one blue. And there's H-Hog. So that's going to make Relay less reliable. They likely have some sort of card in hand. Being a blast or whatever. I could, in theory, try to win right now. That's not off the table. That's 5. I think I'm just going to pass for a turn. I don't think I need to just jam here. We don't have that many resources, and it'd be nice if I had a dress or something. But passing here likely does shut off Relay. Alright, so Prism. So now they could have 2 counter spells up, which is kind of scary. We're also dead to Fling. If they left in Fling on top of all their disruption, you got me. I don't think we can afford to play around everything. And let's see it. If you have the Fling, you have the Fling. Alright, so we took 1. Okay. They're back to only having 1 counter spell up. We probably need to try to win this turn. Okay, so let's start off by sacrificing our lands here. And cycle some of this stuff. I don't want to have to click twice. Dress is a good draw there. But with them having... they probably have multiple 1-mana blue cards in hand, so maybe Dress isn't as good as I think it is. Rite of Flame, okay. We didn't find a Chatterstorm either. I'm going to try to Duress. See what we're fighting against. What do you have, opponent? What do you have? Looks like just a spell. They held Shaman. Or they just drew it off the Thoughtcast. Interesting. Okay. So this is our go turn. Cast our Cabal Rit. Please give me a Chatterstorm deck. Please. It's not looking good. So we're all in on this environmental sciences. I think that's what you're telling me. Or not environmental sciences, I'm sorry. Introduction to Prophecy. Okay, so red, black, black. Relay's not bad here. We're not dead yet. Yeah, relay. I'll take a relay. 8 spells. Let's go. That gives us a shot for next turn. So 1, 10. They might be able to just do lethal by playing out artifacts from hand, which is sort of the downfall of relay. Yeah, I think we're just dead. They can just play 4 artifacts and swing for lethal here with Atog. Maybe I was supposed to bottom. That's a mistake on my part. That said, even if we bottomed, we saw the cards that would have been revealed. We would not have found a Chatterstorm. Sort of a bummer. And here, our opponent's just going through the motions. I'd be shocked if we were still alive at the end of the turn. That said, even if our opponent passed, look at what we revealed. Like, I don't think that this is enough. And yeah, they're smart enough to figure out that we're just, you know, toast here. Or at least they should be. And unfortunately, we're going to be 0-2 in this league. This deck is better than that. That said, people are looking to beat us right now. Maybe Chatterstorm won't be banned in 2 weeks, but it probably should be. I've been told that while our opponent's killing us here, this is like one of the toughest matchups for Chatterstorm. Because the Shaman, the fact that we have to respect all their counterspells and then the Shaman, just makes it sort of difficult. And that's the ball game. 0-2. Alright, let's see if we can bounce back, recover a little bit. I mean, losses happen, but I'd like to finish strong, you know, get our money back. We're on the play. Yikes. These hands tonight. We just have to ship that. Can't keep that. Interesting. I think we're supposed to bottom the song here. See, yeah, what we can do. We're going to play the Crevice and just pass the turn on turn 1. Alright, Crevice, go. They cycled Street Wraith? Okay. Might be playing the Mirror? Could be the Mirror. Although I haven't seen any builds with Baron more. We should probably just play Night's Whisper. Alright. Are we dead? Looks like it. We could be dead here. Oh, it's SquirrelStorm? We can't lose to SquirrelStorm. That's going to make me look bad. We need to win this. They missed their land drop. I think we're just supposed to play Forest Go. We can't go all in on a Manamorphose here. We could really use another Night's Whisper. Just something to get ahead. Alright, they're going to try for it again. I mean, I love this deck, but I don't feel like I should lose to SquirrelStorm with Chatterstorm. They've missed their land drop again. So burning mana to cycle. Deck's sort of failing us right now. I think it's just land go. I don't know what else I'm supposed to do here. They found their second land. And they're passing. Okay, give me a shot. Let's find that first day of class. Let's go. Come on, deck. Let's see it. Okay, let's cycle. Here probably would have been better as a, whatever it's called. Sign in Blood. There we go. Ah, we're just flooding hard. Our opponent's going to kill us. I'm going to have to just hope that they fizzle. Alright, Dranith Healer, yep. Just too many dead draws for us this game. Alright. Yeah, do your thing, opponent. Auto-yield. I'm going to start auto-yielding to some of these cyclers. Just less clicks that way. Songs is a good one. So the good thing is that their storm count is actually a little bit low. By burning all the dark rituals, that's what that does. Because like if they were to play Reaping the Graves right now, they return 3 cyclers. That's the downfall of playing all your dark rituals up front. Just throwing that out there. I understand that they were missing land drops and they probably needed to. I'm just letting you know that's the downside. Not that they misplayed or anything. I'm not saying that. Yikes. Second Songs is probably going to do it. I'd have to get pretty lucky in order to win this. Ugh, the Unearthed version. I don't like Unearth. I think it's just like a worse build, personally. Alright, so 5. I mean, it's possible that they blank from here. Okay. So, let's see. It's also like sort of interesting that they... I guess you want to cycle it, or cast Unearth for Storm. That would make sense. I wasn't considering that. So I'm going to auto-yield to this. and the Rot Beast. But they've likely got me here. With that much mana floating, how we would have to lose, or what we would have to do in order to win this, is for our opponent to draw all the lands in their deck. And here we're just seeing our life total, you know, go down. I do feel like we're supposed to win this, but because SquirrelStorm is like on average 2 turns slower than Chatterstorm, the downfall is like we just drew all lands this game. I'm not trying to make excuses, but like that's the reality of what happened. And alright, we're down to 6. Like, we're definitely dead here. So much mana. Yep. Alright, only 3 more. There's a pause. Is there a chance? Alright. We need 1 more cycler. And they've got it. Alright, so we lost. Let's see what would have happened if we cast Morphos. So we could have Chatterstorm for like 7 and passed. That wouldn't have been good enough. We needed more than that to go right. Ooh. Alright, so let's board in our Duress. I think that those are going to be pretty solid. What to take out? That's a really good question. To me, it's either Seething Song or Street Wraith. I think we probably want to do Street Wraith. Could do a split. That might actually be better. Yeah, I think I might like that. So I'm going to submit this. And if you're looking to keep track of your storm and mana, the mini token pack, check it out. Great value. For $12, you get 54 storm tokens. I mean, where can you go wrong? You can read the details of the token pack at theepicstorm.com/shop. Not going to do that spiel all over right now. You do get 54 goblin tokens on the back, and they're mini. They're half the size of a standard Magic the Gathering card. Okay, let's see if we can get game 2. These mulligans have been brutal. I think it's supposed to be the Cabal Ritual. Add land to deck, draw less of them. It's just basic science. Like, I should have known better. 8 lands in deck, always draw. It's just how it goes. So we're going to play a Sulfur Vent and pass here, and let's see what the opponent does. Okay, so here I'm just going to cast my Whisper, and I think next turn might be the turn that we try to go for it. Double first day, you know, pretty good. Makes it so we can win with less storm. I want to miss their land drop again. I think maybe I'm supposed to just Whisper and pass. Okay. Part of me wants to discard the Duress. I guess I should probably just discard the Rite of Flame. There's not, like, it adds 1 mana. Like, it's fine. It's just so difficult for me to discard rights. Alright, we live to cast our Duress. What you got? An incredibly stacked hand is the answer. Holy cow. Am I supposed to try to win right now? I don't know. So this would be card number 5 to the graveyard. Card number 6 would be Rite of Flame. We have looting, but I'd rather hold that. So I think I'm supposed to cycle this for a black. And then Cabal Ritual. Because that way I get to look at another card so I have more information about what to discard. Or I can just pass. Next turn they would be going off with Songs, Cabal Ritual, Reaping. So the choke point for them would be mana. So they'd be returning 4. So if they cycle, that's 5 cards. Songs would be 6. So let's say, assuming that they drew a cycler between their draw off of Horror of the Broken One, or Broken Lands, and their draw stuff, they can main phase cycle. I mean, they could go for it next turn. Interesting spot to be in. I think I'm just going to go. I'd rather try to do something than just sit here and lose. Come on, deck. Chatterstorm. I'll take that. Draw. It's a good one. I'm going to add red-green because I might want to discard this forest. Ding dong. We have 6 mana. That's the right number. Alright, let's first day of class. Discard this crevice. I would love a Manamorphose. Thank you. Another first day. Discard this duress. Boom! So many rights. Take this. Bunch of 3/3s. So we got game number 2. Let's see if we're lucky enough to win game number 3. It was pretty scary considering how their hand was actually duress proof there. Do I want to change anything with the boarding? I don't think so. I think we likely still want the duress. Yeah, I'm just going to hit submit and hope for the best. Sure. This seems fine to me. So on our turn 1, we'll be casting duress. And then if, let's say, we don't hit a land by turn 2, we can always Ritual Night's Whisper. That's an option that we have. And our opponent has kept 7. Okay. Let's go E. Hopkins. Let's do it. Alright. So, like I said, Swamp. Love the Sulfur Vent draw. So it looks like we're just getting a Cabal right here. Not that great of a duress. We're going to pass the turn. See what the opponent does. So they're likely just going to play the Barrymore and cycle a creature here. So they drew a Swamp, which just lets them speed up one more. Cross off the Lurch Beast. So this is the other Cabal Rit. I'm fine with that. Get out of here. You're not allowed to have that. Alright, so cross those off. Next turn I might just cast Night's Whisper and pass. I'm not sure yet. Alright, so they don't have Horror of the Broken Ones or Broken Lands anymore. Are they gonna cycle the Barrymore or play it? That's what I'm interested in knowing. And they decided to play it. Okay. This might just be Whisper and pass. Yeah, I think it is. Played the Sulfur Vent and passed the turn. Next turn, I think no matter what, I'm likely going to try to go for it. On our turn, we'll have 2 draws off of Street Wraith and Manamorphose. We have Introduction to Prophecy to Preordain. So we have 5 looks this turn at the bare minimum. Now we have 6 with Morphos. Cycle the Street Wraith to begin. And that's going to do it. A little bit better than a Faithless Looting here, which is the card we cut in order to add Shred Memory. I don't know why I did that. I should have used the blue mana. We don't have blue in our deck. It's just foolish. Red-green. Another Cabal Ritual is a good pickup. We'll use the blue mana now. And then we can cast another Morphos. Red-red, why not? Swamp. Let's cast First Day. We'll get the glorified Preordain. So much mana. We do have to increase Storm Count a little bit, I suppose. Because right now I don't have lethal. Oh, no, I do. Let's keep both of these. Because if I draw another green source, I could double chatter like a real jerk. Boom! Playing it perfectly. Transmute. Go get that other Chatterstorm. Play our land. Hope that the opponent doesn't concede. Okay. So we got our first match win. We probably should win this match. We're just faster. And I love Cycling Storm. Cycling Storm is my primary Pauper deck. That said, SquirrelStorm's just a better deck. I hope E. Hopkins switches over soon because it is a better deck. But once it's banned, this is my Pauper deck. I think it's the best Pauper deck in the format for combo. I also enjoy playing the Pauper Twiddle deck, but this is realistically the best combo deck in Pauper when Storm spells aren't legal. Alright, 1-2. Let's see if we can get the last couple. Round 4, we're on the play. And we've opened up a reasonable 7 cards. Sure, we can keep this. I'd probably be looking to just go land Sulfur Vent on the first turn. We don't need to show them Street Wraith by cycling it. We just don't have to do that. We can hold Street Wraith until the turn we want to win. And it's going to be our first like true blue deck of the league. I don't really count Affinity as a blue deck personally. I think Crevice is probably the right play here. And just pass the turn. We don't need to play into whatever they have going on. A lot of Storm players, I think that they get uncomfortable when their opponents leave up islands and then they just like jam too early. Why bother? Alright, so it's definitely not mono blue, which is what I thought it was initially. I suppose it could be like Turbo Fog or something. Play the Sulfur Vent here, and I think we're just going to cast Whisper. If it's Turbo Fog, that's actually sort of dangerous because we're not set up well to beat that deck in game number 1. It's looking like it could be. Yep, this is Turbo Fog. That's not good. It's not good at all. Alright, let's cycle the Street Wraith. Yeah, I think I'm supposed to just like cast some stuff this turn. Try to just like make them have it all, I guess. So sacrifice one of these. Need the red manas. So that's 6. Cabal Ritual. Threshold now. Now it's looting. We don't necessarily need these rituals. That was a good draw. Yeah. I'm sort of hoping that they tried to counterspell. Maybe that's wrong, though. I probably shouldn't be rooting for that. Okay. Do you need more storm still? I guess I can keep this. The cost of 1 mana for a storm is worth it. And I'm going to add in another green. Why not? Sure. Transmute here. We'll go get Chatter. Our opponent has a Fog, so we're not in a great spot. I'm wondering if... I should probably flashback this one. It's probably the move. We can double Chatter. I don't think that actually makes any difference. And if they have like an Echoing Truth, we just get blown out. Well, this makes it so like a gain life effect wouldn't matter, but I don't think that's like this would have been enough. It's just that Turbo Fog, like between Moment's Peace and all their other stuff, I don't think that this is a match we're going to win game 1 without Duress or Pyroblast or anything like that. So now we just sit here and attack over and over, hoping that our opponent eventually just runs out of Fog effects. Like I said, it's a little bit of a pipe dream, but it's what we're going for here. Just tons and tons of squirrels. Going to combat, attack, and Moment's Peace most likely. Well, that's a cool one. So they prevent all combat damage and then gain 1 for each damage prevented that way. Or 1 life for each attacking creature. My bad. So we still have enough to deal 43 on our next turn. But like I said, they probably have a Fog or something else. So we're going to have to... sure. Trying to deck us already. That's how this deck wins, is just stream of thoughting us over and over. So we have 43 here. This is definitely a matchup where we're going to be boarding in the Flaring Pain. And now we actually have to get in multiple times. So a little bit of a rough spot. They're just going to pass the turn back to us, draw attack. It's pretty simple at this point. Hope they run out. Get in there. Moment's Peace. Yeah, Moment's Peace is terrific because it's a double time lock. And they've likely got it from here, but we need to make them have it. Until we're decked, we have to keep attacking. Alright. And I don't know if I'm going to play anything else. Like, I can cycle, but there's no point into doing anything. It only helps them deck us faster. Another time walk for the opponent. I honestly didn't realize that Tangle... Ooh, and now they can pick off a squirrel every turn, too, with Double Desert. I didn't realize that this was printed at Common. I remember this from Invasion as a kid. Vintage Masters. Okay. Alright, they're down to 3, but they got a free time walk turn here, so we just have to pass. Turn after that, they have another Moments Piece. So they have a couple of these effects that are just double time walks against us. Alright, so they have 2 cards in hand. And on top of having an extra time walk in their graveyard, I have to connect twice in order to win because their life total is now at 66. Alright, it's pretty free for us to play a land here. I'm just not going to cycle anything and help them deck us. Let's see what they do. The Flashback Moments piece, okay. Now they get to pick off another squirrel. Just have to hope that they miss. I know that the deck plays some cards like Arcane Denial. You just have to hope that they don't have anything. It's not a great plan, but it's where we're at. Play the Crevice and attack. Get in there. Yep. You might be thinking like, Bryant, why not attack with some? Maybe that's what I should be doing until they get down to like 40 again. I don't know. But I don't know if I'm supposed to be playing around all the tangles. I just don't know. Maybe next game I'll do that. Because now they're down to only having 2. So I don't think I'm supposed to play around it. Yeah, I'm just going to pass here. Okay. Have you run out of gas yet? Please say yes. And the answer is... It looked like they were about to cast something. Now they get to shuffle in these effects, so Tangle and all that stuff. 3 effects. Or 3 cards in hand, I should say. Yeah, I'm just going to get in there. I'm not going to play around Tangle. Get in there. Yep. So part of this is... The clock is part of my win condition. They have to deck me in a reasonable amount of time. Sure, you can weather. So now they're down to 1 card. Denial was their last one. So they're going to draw 3 cards this turn now. Sort of a bummer. Yeah. And then they have the time walk with Moments Piece. They're almost to the point where they can pick off 2 squirrels a turn. I wonder if I should like hardcast this. That doesn't matter. And they're likely going to play the Moments Piece here. Yep. Interesting that they did it that way, because now they can't pick off a squirrel. They have a very nice life total. Maybe that's why they did it. I don't know. AK for 3. Nope. Inventory. Okay. I feel like my clock would be much higher than theirs if I also wasn't trying to narrate the entire match. Because the clock is realistically part of our win condition. Alright, so they've resolved Brainstorm. Come on, 4 lands in hand. Let's go. That is a way to shuffle for Brainstorm as well. I don't even know if they want to. Okay, they did decide to shuffle in some cards. And we're down to 19 cards in library. 18 now. And that's their plan. They're just looking to deck us. Alright, attempt to get in there again. 3 cards in their hand. Alright, so this is their 3rd Moments Piece. Yeah, they've likely got us. Alright, so they're going up to 3 here. It doesn't matter because they do get another time walk turn. An AK for 3 here is just so good. Another Chatterstorm just doesn't matter. I suppose what I could do is make it so that if I don't need to get in multiple attacks by if I just cast spells into this. I guess that's fair. So I should Chatterstorm. Alright, so... see if they counter this. I don't actually want to do much else. Like, I don't want to grab a land out of here, because I'm not trying to deck myself. This is going to add 14 power, which isn't enough. So I guess I should. And then this is... so actually, I would put them to 1 right now. I guess I should cycle. See if I can hit like a free spell. It's too risky, I think, for me to Cabal Ritual here. Screw it. Why not? Okay, so Chromatic Star. We're going to add a green and then Chatterstorm. Draw the card off Chromatic Star. Okay. I probably should have played the other star. That was a small mistake on my part. Alright, so that gives us the number to now beat our opponent in 1 swing. They also have main deck Weather the Storm, so we might have just played into that. I don't know. But I hope that's not the case. They didn't F6, so there is a chance they have another Weather. Alright, so do you have an opponent? We know that they have an AK, so they could have just been waiting on AK, I suppose. There's the AK. Did you hit Weather? They did. Okay, so I probably helped them, and I ate up some of my clock. So we're going to lose game 1 to Turbo Fog. I'm just going to make them attack me. Or make them deck me. Attempt to get in there. Not much else I can do. Yep. Yeah, this deck is just like super boring, but I need to make them deck me because if I win game 2 and they take a long time, they have to have a reasonable win condition for game 3. It's just like a valid strategy in order to win the match. Yeah, cast all the weathers. It's fine. I've already accepted that I'm not winning this. Part of me wonders if I should even be boarding in Relay, because Relay plays into their game plan. Alright, and they have enough here to copy Stream of Thought to finish decking me. They only did it for 1. They could have copied it. I don't know why they would do that. That's just a mistake, in my opinion. Alright, let's attack. Sure. Just wasting time, I guess. So they do have a real win con. So now we mill 6. No, I'm sorry. It's only mill 1, my bad. So we would mill 3. Might as well eat at their clock a little bit here. It's been so long since I've seen a Jace's Erasure. Likely boarding out Faithless Looting, I think. Definitely want the Flaring Pain, though. So how we win post board is we're looking to play Duress into a Resolved Flaring Pain. Alright, so now we draw 2 in our draw step. Or no, they draw 2 more, and then we mill because of it, so we're going to deck right now. And just like that, we've actually not... like, before, like, when I was saying that we've lost, we figuratively lost, now we're literally losing. Okay, so Turbo Fog, yeah. We want the Duress, bring those in. Definitely want the Flaring Pain, Pyroblast. I don't think we want the Relays just because I'm afraid of like exiling too much of my deck when they're a deck that's trying to deck us. But maybe it's just the right thing to do. Alright, so we don't need the Shreds. We can probably board out Lootings. Those seem safe. Board out Street Wraith. Now we have to find something for the Flaring Pain. Maybe a Seething Song? Yeah, I think I like this. Submit! I would love to be on the play. If we draw a red source, like a Lotus Petal on turn 2, seems pretty good. Yeah, let's try it. I'm just going to play the Swamp and pass. I think want to hold the Duress for Storm. Petal. Boo. Alright. Maybe I should have mulliganed. I don't know. They played a Brainstorm. Sorry, I've been narrating less. I'm getting a little tired. Alright, so Forest, let's draw. Alright, I'll fire off the Duress now because I don't want to discard. What do we have here? Okay, guess we just take the counter. Lose Focus is a cool card, though. No, they're going to AK most likely. No, chose to cycle Ash Barrens. Okay. Interesting choice there. Played Island. Draw. This was the risk. Ugh. I think I just discard like a Cabal Ritual here. Because it's not like we're even close to threshold anyway. Yeah, you can have your AK. I think I saw these two paired with Duress, and I was like, obviously you keep this. But it hasn't panned out so far. Just discard another Cabal Ritual, I think. We're just not close to threshold, so it makes sense. Land go from the opponent. I think I'm going to discard the Relay here. So I know that I can flashback Flare and Pain. That's like not something that I've forgotten about. But I want to make sure that it resolves when I cast it. And flashing it back is an easy way of doing that. Just having two chances. And they mill the land. Bummer. Draw. Alright. I'm just... I don't know. Would have thought I'd drawn a land by now. Move to discard again. This is just punishment for keeping that hand, I think. Alright. They likely have a bunch of counter spells by now. I think I'm discarding Relay once again. Just too expensive. Forest? Sure. Let's see if they actually counterspell this. Because that would be like a good way of dressing them. They didn't, so I'm just going to pass. Because if that ate a counterspell, it would have been worth it. Another land. They still haven't even played the desert yet, so we know that they have desert and at least one fog in hand. Stream of Thought copy, sure. Another Sulfur Vent. And no lands in that one. Alright, let's find a land. I think I have to discard a Morphos here. Yep, Morphos down. So that was +1 card for the opponent. And they finally played the desert. Okay. Come on, deck. Might as well fire this off. Otherwise, we're just discarding, so I expect that this gets countered. Interesting that they didn't try to cycle. Alright, so if we can draw a colored mana source, we can try to win the game. Because right now we can actually beat these Moment's Peace effects. Come on, deck, please. A little bit disappointed. What do you have, opponent? You're tapping mana. I don't like this. Honestly, I think that they should have triple replicate. Like, what are you doing? Just deck me. Like, you could replicate this again and still have a fog up. Let's draw. This is just embarrassing. Please, deck. I think I discard Manamorphose here. Yeah. Okay. What can we do? Nothing. Discard Seething Song. Opponent passing back. Draw. This sound like a parent. I'm not mad. I'm just disappointed. This is turn 17, and I have not drawn land 2. It's kind of wild if you think about it that way. Draw. That's what I get. Yeah. Alright. Swamp was not a land that we actually wanted to draw. We still have a Chromatic Star in the deck. I would take that at this point. Come on. This is just ridiculous. Yep. They're just passing back. They have 8 cards. It's going to be tough to resolve the Flaring Pain. Just going to discard Dark Ritual, I think. Alright. And I feel a little dumb for discarding the... there was a point in this game where I discarded a Pyroblast, but I felt like I needed to at the time, and now after drawing some mana, I feel like that was a big mistake. This is technically a red source. Turn 21. And they've probably loaded up on counter spells by now. They have that new Replicate counter too. It's going to be really difficult to win. Okay. Chromatic Star was a good draw here. Does this resolve? No is the answer. Okay. Pretty good. So we're going to draw 4 cards on their upkeep, I think it works. I haven't paid attention if we've milled Forest or not, but Forest is also a card I would take. You can gain a bunch of life. And I have no idea what's left in our deck at this point. I really don't. Sure. Yes, I'll draw 2. Sure. Am I missing something? Oh, they draw 1. They draw 1. My bad. Okay. So if they have Stream, I'm just dead here. And it appears that they don't. Alright, let's see what we can do. So I think we want to bait them here by trying to get them to counterspell Rite of Flame. Yeah. Alright. Like, we needed this to act as a protection spell, and we managed to do that. Alright. Let's duress. Hopefully it's just a bunch of fogs. I think we're actually going to win this. They're at 35? Well, they can gain life too. I think they have 2 of those things. Alright. Let's cast First Day of Class. Get Introduction. Guess we'll use red mana. Another First Day of Class is pretty good. Put that on top. So I do have to cast Flaring Pain. Really wish I had more mana right now. So I have to do this for red-green. 5 cards left. I wish I knew what was left in my deck. Wait, did I discard the other First Day? I did. So that was a misclick, I think, because I wanted to discard the Crevice. Or am I just like making up that I had double First Day? I don't even know. Maybe I'm just too tired right now. So this is going to... I think this isn't enough. Like, because they can play this card and just gain life. And it's just not going to be good enough. And then they can fog me out for my last 4 cards. Oh no, I did play double First Day. Okay, I'm not going crazy. I don't know how the math adds up against that fog card, though. I think not favorably. I think we just lose. But... Alright. Chatterstorm is resolving some beefy squirrels. This is my first time running into Turbo Fog with this deck, too. And I talked about how I don't really use the Flaring Pain. And now here we are. Where it's a matchup where I would have liked to have more than one. Yep. And now they stall me out the rest of the game. Yeah, this is just easy for them. What do you metal for? The Jaces? Okay. I think I'm just dead. Like, they're casting AKs, but I don't think they need to. There you go. You got it. Okay. So we're now 1-3. And then a weather. The weather didn't really matter. That's fine. I guess I'll just concede. Save myself a few clicks. I do think this deck is better than a 1-3. Unfortunately, the metagame seems to be ready for us. I don't know if there's anything wrong with the list either, but who knows. If you have suggestions, let me know. Let's just see if we can win the last one. On the draw for the final match, and we've opened up a pretty good hand. I'm definitely keeping this. Alright, opponent. Let's do this. Alright. Feel a little bit bad that I feel like I wasn't narrating that last match very well, and it might be a little bit choppy after the editing software, but if that's the case, I'm sorry. I'll try to do a little bit of a better job this round. I was just getting so bored. And it's tough to narrate for 35 minutes in a boring matchup. Affinity. Alright, so this is going to be a tough round 5. Our draw for the turn is Chromatic Star. Crevice Pass. Okay, so what is our affinity opponent going to do this turn? I think worst case scenario, it's like ATOG. Because that forces us to try to win a little bit quicker. But we do have a decent amount of draw in our hand. There it is. Alright, I think we're going for the turn 2. Draw for turn. Opponent's a little bit of a slow player. They have stops on both players' upkeeps, which I do too. So no judgment against them. But they also like wait a solid minute before doing everything every time, and I feel that's a little bit of a pain in the ass. Alright, Double Dark Rit, Night's Whisper. This finds first day of class. So let's sacrifice this. Let's play these out for a storm. Draw. Okay, double Chatter's not bad. I think I still want to play this. I don't need to first day of class anymore, but I would like to draw a mana off this. Did not happen. So I can Chatter for 15. Or I can Night's Whisper and Chatter for 8 if I miss. It's a tough call. I think I'm supposed to just double Chatter. If I had to guess, that's probably the best line here. If they have like a Teamer Battle Rage, we lose. But otherwise, this beats most affinity draws. And most lists don't main deck the Clark Clan Shaman, so we shouldn't have to worry about that. I think the card we're worried about right now is the Teamer Battle Rage. Alright. And the concession. So we've gotten game number 1 over Affinity. Tough matchup, so we definitely wanted that. Boarding these gut shots and then the duress. We're just going to board like we did, and I think it was round 1 we faced Affinity. Might have been round 2. Board out these street rates, and then board out the looting. That is my 1-3 professional advice for this matchup. It stinks, because, like, if I had to sign up for the Sunday Challenge right now, I'd play the same list all over again. And in fact, like, if I do play the Sunday Challenge this week, I'm probably going to play this list. I think this list is really good. That said, sometimes you just don't run well for a league, and it doesn't mean that much. Like, in the grand scheme of things, leagues are pretty meaningless. And no offense to our opponent on Turbo Fog, but, like, that's not a real deck. And it's not a deck that I'd be looking to face in the winner's bracket of a challenge. So I just chalk up those losses to, like, things happen, and I try not to let it bother me. This hand seems fine. Alright, so opponent is mulliganing, and here we go. Vault of Whispers into Chromatic Star. Draw. I like the duress pickup. We're just going to play Crevice and Pass. Okay. So once again, they're pausing on their upkeep. I think if you're going to have that stop, you have to be pretty vigilant, because, like, they're wasting like 40 seconds every turn. Okay, Vault. That's fine. Interesting. They cracked it for blue, so is this like a Witching Well? It must be, right? Nope, just that was a weird play. I don't know if I agree with that. We're just gonna pass here. Alright, Vault of Whispers, or not Vault of Whispers, Disciple of the Vault. I have fond memories of using Disciple of the Vault in my standard KCI deck. It was like before I started like really looking up decks online, and my KCI deck won with Disciple double Mirror Retriever instead of just like the better list that won with Mirror Incubator and two either like Belcher or Fireball. I eventually graduated to that, but at first I played Disciple double Mirror Retriever. Alright, so this might be our turn to try to go for it. Another star. Do I want to force it? Honestly, I think I might just want to pass. As weird as that might be. So I could go Song Song. I don't know. Because like they're tapped down right now and they put double on top. So I'd have to sacrifice the petal to make a red. So I go up to 8. You know what? We're just going to go for it. Why not? Let's go. And I'm just going to yield to this. Alright, we're going to add double black here. Come on, deck. Let's go. Not very good. Add... Ooh. Misplay on my part. Yikes, that could cost me. I thought I already had threshold. Learn to count, Bryant. Learn to count. Cycle this, I guess. All in on this Manamorphose. Is it here? Do we have it? Something. Duress. Nothing in hand. Alright, so we're going to have to hope that the mini chatter... these squirrels are not educated. They've never been to school. We're just hoping that back-to-back uneducated dumb squirrels get there. Alright. Is this good enough? So if our opponent's top cards don't interact with an army of squirrels, they could cycle this for the shuffle, but they kept, which is a little bit concerning. Thoughtcast is a good one. That would make sense why they kept it. Okay, so they knew one of the cards they drew, and then they drew one unknown. Right now they only have 4 artifacts, so they can't quite play the new upgraded Mirror Enforcer yet, the Lizard. A Metal Lizard. They still get to play a land. So if they play this, they now go up to 5 artifacts, so they can play the Lizard tapping 2 mana. There's the Lizard. Or I should say Salamander, not Lizard. First day of class. Come on. It's obviously going to be our draw here. You know what? I will take that. Huh. Yeah, play removal too, Affinity. What up? And now we crash. So they're going to block 1. So they'll take 11 going to 9. So they'll need a couple blockers on this next turn to do anything meaningful. Okay. So last turn they played Great Furnace, so I think they still have Darksteel Citadel and then 3 unknowns. Thoughtcast. Not what we wanted to see there, because it digs them deeper to their out. No. Not going to say the card I don't want to see here. Okay. That's good news for us. We just won. I guess they could play a free creature here. I shouldn't have opened up my fat mouth. Is this a concession? It was a concession. Alright, so if they played another Enforcer effect there, they actually would have had enough blockers. So playing this actually could have been correct. But we got the Pity 2-3. Not the best showing, in my opinion. That said, I don't know if it's any fault of the deck. You could add a second Flaring Pain and over-adjust for Turbo Fog. I don't think that's correct. Honestly, I really like the deck list. It's a shame I didn't do better, but I wouldn't change a single card. Leagues aren't everything. I think this deck list is solid. Let me know what you thought. Did I play poorly? Does the deck list suck? Did you at least enjoy this? Was it miserable? Did I not talk enough in round number 4? Give me the deets. If you've watched this long, thank you. Because I'm sure this couldn't have been that interesting, me watching me lose the entire time. Yeah, that's all I have. Keep storming. Pick up your Chatterstorms. Play the deck while you can. It will be banned eventually, I think. Despite me going 2-3, the deck's busted. I don't care about what anyone says. So yeah. Hey, Bryant Cook here. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please like and subscribe, but also follow the social media channels down below. If you want to support this content directly, I would recommend going to theepicstorm.com/shop. And if you need a little bit of assistance with the Epic Storm to get to that next level, I would recommend going to theepicstorm.com/tutoring. Don't worry, there's more great content coming right up.